Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to 2 Point Campus. We are back in Pebberley Ruins, following on immediately from the end of our last episode where we achieved our 1-star objectives and actually set ourselves up pretty well for our 2-star objectives. We only have one more campus level to get and we're about a third of the way there, and we have to excavate 30 artifacts. The student union party has been requested, so we will book that in. We are almost at the end of year 4. And we're doing pretty well financially. I'm just going to let things play through and we'll have a look at what artifacts we can have dug up here. So over in our excavation pits, it looks like there's one here that's just coming to the surface. That looks like a pretty big skeleton of some description. And everyone else is just wandering around going to their next lesson. In general, things are looking pretty good. We have no assistant working in the student union right now and a gig waiting to begin by the looks of things. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah, something's happening there. But wait. I don't know what's happening right now, but there's nobody working in the student union. It has a distinctly Halloween theme, so let's actually hire a new assistant. Just going to move this door here in our training room, get rid of the other one, and then I'm going to expand my student union because it's a little on the small side, and if we can just fill in these walls here, we'll create a larger student union and have a nice little entrance kind of hallway there, and that looks much better than it did when we first put it in. And the other thing I wanted to do is develop these rooms here, so expand our computer lab and our science lab as well. Look at the size of that skeleton though. That's cool. Is it this little guy's brother over here? Is it your brother, mate? Have we found him? Or your dad? That looks much better, and we just need to move some of the wall-based items that are currently hovering in midair and then put them into place. And that's a level 8 computer lab, looking much better and fitting in quite nicely with the actual building itself. And that lets us change the wall here on our science lab, and then we can start moving some of our experiment stations and stuff back against the wall so that the space is used a lot more effectively. And I can of course move the thunderballs. This is such a weird item. It's obviously those static ball things that you put your hands on or put your hands near enough and then the lightning kind of attracts to you and stuff like that. But it's such a weird... We'll call it thunderballs. Anyway, that's my little laughter gone for the day. I don't know what I'm talking about now. We are at the end of the year, so I'll see what awards we've won. Hopefully it's a good year. 100% pass rate, 20 students graduating. Someone just threw a paper aeroplane in our award ceremony. How dare they? And a very good pass rate. King of Hearts, Queen of Clubs, Rising Star, Campus of the Year. What a good year. Much better. We're doing very well here, aren't we? And yes, so this still doesn't look great. I'm just going to completely finish off moving all of this stuff around and that'll look a lot better. That is a much better layout in our science lab. Okay, the next thing I want to do is build a new dig site. We're going to make a large one because we've got plenty of money, and I'm also going to duplicate a building, and we're going to have a new building down on this side with some pastoral care, private tuition, dormitories, extra bits and pieces that the students will need to fill out their courses and really improve their learning rate, because we need to keep those grades nice and high. Couple of tables and stuff in here. It's a shame that we can't actually put anything extra in to make it look good, although the artifacts that you dig up do sometimes improve the prestige or decorative level of the dig site while they're being dug up, but they can also have a negative impact as well depending on what you dig up. We upgrade our course as well, and then I'm going to pull this building over and duplicate it in another area. And the last thing I'm going to put in here is a dormitory, just a single one. As you can see, this is exactly the same layout as the other dormitory building, and then we can start thinking about expanding with some more buildings and stuff that would help out with the course, like I mentioned before, pastoral care and stuff like that. But for now, we're just putting in a dormitory style building with showers and toilets, and we'll sell off all of these things and we could potentially expand later on if necessary. At the moment, it's not too bad, so I'm just going to leave it as it is and let the money continue rolling in, and all we've got to do really is excavate those artifacts. We are 4 months into our new year and we've excavated 15 of those 30 artifacts towards our 2-star objective, and really there's not a lot more to do. It's just a case of waiting for those artifacts to be excavated, and the students don't actually excavate artifacts until they're in there doing a class. So if you look at our calendar, this is the area, by the way, that I'm going to expand with a brand new building. I'm going to lay out some paths and stuff so I know exactly what I'm working with. But you can see in our calendar, January, between February and March, May, and between June and July are the only times we'll be excavating. So that's when we're going to be completing those artifact objectives. And I might as well just carry on jumping ahead and managing as we go. Just spotting a couple of queues forming here in this computer lab for this particular machine, the digital console. So we're going to duplicate that. And that again will allow students to use it separately and stop queues forming. That's where we kind of need to make those little adjustments. When you can see like that there's a student waiting to use a certain machine, you can increase their progress in their courses by allowing them to be able to use those machines while they're in there. It just helps them complete assignments quicker, which in turn drives up those grades and their learning rate. So I am also going to be scheduling in a couple of films, and I'm going to have them repeat every year in our lecture theatre. So the likes of your sci-fi films, so you get those nice regular boosts to their learning rate. Same with movement speed, energy, and also it keeps that happiness going. And if you can do this and schedule it every year, you'll not have to continue doing them on individual bases when you think that it's necessary. So it's quite good to get a sense of your calendar, and then you can plan out all of those events throughout the year when you have the cash. Obviously that's very dependent on actually having money. So I'm going to put in the nature club now, seeing as some of our students would like, you know, they get happiness from that, and also it will help us keep the campus tidy when they come in and do work on like bushes and stuff. And if we have plants anywhere, the nature club do actually water them, so that might help in terms of this area here isn't going to look good because you can't put anything in there to make the dig pits look better. Okay, we are at 24 of 30 artifacts, and as you can see, we've dug up the ancient UFO apparently, and we've got a load of other stuff that I've decorated this side of the campus with. Now, the thing is, I don't need to keep them. I could sell them, but at the moment we have so much money, it would be quite nice to just have these lying around as a little bit of a bank, just in case anything else goes wrong. Now, I can see pastoral support is getting a little bit busy, and we're going to need to, although looking at it, there doesn't appear to be, there's a queue of 3 waiting for it, so that's not actually that much of a queue. So I'm hoping to kind of hold out until I complete this level, complete the 2-star objectives before I move on to anything else, and we're not far off it really. We can just continue pushing this, and once the 2-star objectives are done and we see what our 3-star objectives are, we can actually start doing a little bit more development, because I imagine we're going to need a new lecture theatre at some point very soon. And I'm just going to have a look at my course management. We have 40 course points, so not enough to upgrade this one. I could bring in a new one, but I don't really think that's necessary. I think it would be quite nice to just stick with this course for now. If I was to bring anything in, I'd bring something that was using the computer management and science lab. And monthly profits coming in very healthy at the moment, which is really good to see. I think a lot of that has come from the dormitory being such a high level. But we're going to need to put in a few more toilets and things like that, so we could do with just making a couple of adjustments as we move into the new year. So this really shouldn't take us too long. I'm pretty confident that we'll be wrapping up the 2-star objectives soon. It's just that excavate 30 artifacts we've got to get rid of really, and that is just dependent on students actually coming in and doing the digging while they're learning. I did add some topiary for my nature club so they can get, get completely undressed and do some hedge trimming. Alright, 2 left to go. We are in a lesson now, the last one of the year, and I'm hoping we've got one more artifact left to do there. Come on guys, dig one more up for me. I've got a couple of kudosh things I'll unlock there. I think it was just the one actually from archaeology. There we go, that's done. Come on guys, one more. There we go. We have unlocked the gem display and the insect display, and that is our 2-star objectives complete. So really, if you've done the work early on, if it's taken you a little bit longer to get to that 1-star objective, your campus level is probably already there. So 3 stars, campus level 24, 3 A+ grade classes, an attractiveness rating of 75%, and earn $200,000 by selling artifacts. Okay, that should be pretty easy to achieve. The only things that I'm going to be worried about is our attractiveness rating. Obviously, if we dig up artifacts that aren't of good quality, they will affect the attractiveness rating. We've also got the frog rain to deal with, as well as the invaders, so I expect that to fluctuate. So what I'll probably do is I'll try and push it up to around about the 75% mark, and we'll just hope that it holds there. The artifacts, as you can see, we're selling off the ones that we'd kept in stock, and that brings us up to $139,500. So we're very close to that already, and then the campus level should just happen naturally as we train our staff and expand the campus, which I imagine I'm going to have to do in a couple of months when the year ends, and then it's just going to be a case of waiting out those A+ grade classes that we need to do. And that's probably where we're at now. I'm going to do a little bit of tweaking and stuff to boost our attractiveness rating, and hopefully that'll solve that issue and we can have that objective complete as well. But I imagine the one that's going to take us the most amount of time is the A+ grade classes, because that's going to involve pushing our education rating and making sure all of our students are happy, which is another reason why we schedule all of those films in the lecture theatre in advance. Obviously, food and drink is also an issue, so we're going to have to solve that, and I think it's probably a good time now to put in some kiosks. And then I will start marking out my path now for my new building developments. We are coming up to the end of the year, and I've just finished mapping out my pathing for the next phase of development on the campus. Oh, that's it. Let's see what we've won. 100% pass rate, 20 graduates, 83 continue, Queen of Clubs, Rising Staff, Campus of the Year, and that's that for the awards, but we did pretty well. So the next stage, I'm just going to schedule in this student union party. I should repeat those every year as well, actually. We are going to build our dig site in this little area here, then that area is going to be a new building, and we're going to expand the building that we already have. I'll schedule in this event as well. We are going to put in like a medical centre, a pastoral care, and some more private tuitions and stuff just to flesh that new building out. I'm going to sell this stuff, and that brings us very, very close to our $200,000 goal. So I'm going to jump ahead, do those adjustments, and I will catch you in a bit. So we are very close to campus level 24 now. We have not yet started our new academic year, which is why we've not had any A+ grade classes. But I have decorated the place, so our attractiveness rating is 80%. It's just dropped down to 79%, but that should keep at a really nice and easy level to maintain. At the end of every year, I would expect it to return to 80%, because the students have cleared out, nobody's doing any courses, and all of that sort of stuff is kind of frozen, which means our janitors are going to have time to clean up and repair stuff, and that will boost that attractiveness rating back up. It's at 82% at the moment, which is really good. So just a quick tour. We've got toilets, dormitories, showers, pastoral care, and a new private tuition room, 2 private tuition rooms, and a brand new library in that new building. And then here we've got another student union and student lounge. So we're looking pretty good. That actually allows us to spread our students out as much as possible. I still think we'll get capacity when we have events in, because we have, what, I think over 100 students on campus now, and our unions and student lounges can only like hold up to 10 at a time. So that's something to keep an eye on, because that would mean, like, of all of those like recreational rooms, I think we can only fit about 40 students across all 4 of them. So we do need to be very mindful of that. I'm just going to try and put in a few more bins where we might have litter, and that's that. Our toilets now, I'm going to finish putting in some more posters just to boost the decorative level of it. It's one of the things that I think would contribute more to having a higher overall attractiveness rating, and the bathrooms and shower blocks are often the areas that I tend to neglect. So that's, again, another reason why it's probably time for me to start designing some blueprints just to help these sort of situations, like stop them from happening, and also allow me to very quickly put down these new rooms when necessary. And I'll maybe do a couple of different tiers, so we'll have a smaller bathroom and a smaller shower room, and then move it up and up and up based on how much money that we'll have moving forward. And everything's looking pretty good. I've got quite a few students in. We've got 2 A+ grade classes already, and a couple of, I didn't build a new medical room. That's something that I might have to actually do, because there's a fair few queues starting to form outside of that one, and we've already upgraded the Omnicure to the highest level. I could maybe train the staff member who's working in the medical room as well. That might help them cure people faster. But yeah, at present we've got one person in there and 2 waiting. So it's actually not too much of an issue. And I've not really noticed if the archaeological dig sites cause any issues, or it's just the fact that the students are getting hit by the frog rain. But we'll find out soon enough, and I'll maybe add in another medical centre whenever I find the space to do so, just to help us along the way a little. One thing I am trying to do is put these small hedges in all the way around the area where our dig pits are. So the dig pits, because they are large and don't have a great deal of attractiveness boosting items in them, if any at all, unless you happen to dig some up, the areas around them, it's best to have them as well decorated as possible, and that should help us out with our attractiveness rating. So I'm just pulling down these hedges and trying not to let them overlap. I am a little bit worried about the pathing issues because I've already put in quite a few like decorative items. We can see here the attractiveness rating is boosted throughout those little corridors. We can put in another hedge just down here to finish that one off. So yes, I don't know if the items that you dig up, while they remain on site, they boost the attractiveness rating of the dig site itself, or you have to actually physically pick them up and put them in your campus. I have already done that, of course, but I sold them to earn my $200,000, which, by the way, we have already achieved, as well as the 24 levels of campus required as well. So it's literally just those A+ grade classes that we need to do. But yes, back to me talking about these things that you dig up. Yeah, I think they don't actually improve the attractiveness rating of the dig site at all until you pick them up and put them in your campus. But that, once again, means that you don't get the benefit on your dig site at all. So these dig sites are huge and they have a big footprint on your overall campus, and if they don't look good, that will bring your attractiveness rating down, which I guess is where it's difficult in this level. So it's good to make sure you're putting a load of posters on your walls, maybe putting in some plants and stuff, just to make sure that everything stays on top. You can see ours has dropped a little bit, but it should recover. So we are now just about at the halfway point of our A+ grade classes, and we are at the end of year 6. Which means, as long as we continue to improve, you can see down here, by the way, I've put in a new medical centre, and I already have queues there, so I could do with maybe putting another one in. And the one up here doesn't seem to be having many people going to it, and it could be because that medical centre is the one closest to the dig pits, which might mean that the students are getting some injuries from those dig pits. I'm going to schedule in another film. I can't because it's the end of the year, of course, that makes sense, but we can try at some other point. I was just trying to push up another A+ grade, but you can see here students are conducting assignments and doing classes and stuff while they're in here. We have our end of year awards. Let's have a look at what we've won. Year 6, 100% pass rate, 39 graduates, 91 continuing, academic excellence, Queen of Clubs, Rising Staff, Campus of the Year, pretty good again. Excellent, we're doing really well on this level. So our new requirements are for another dig site and another lecture theatre. I am going to pick up a new plot then. I'm not sure which one to go for. I can't buy one further down. I could get that one. That one seems like a decent option, and maybe this one. But just, you know, financially speaking, we're pretty good, but I think I will just take on this one here because it's a nice shape and it's pretty close to our main campus, which means I can fit a new dig site and a new, like, secondary building on the same site. So to begin with, I'm going to put in a building, and I'm going to try and fit it in that small... Oh, I don't own the plot yet, so we'll just have to wait for the plot to be developed, which is a bit frustrating. Come on, how long left on this one? 2 days time we can finally do our building. 1 day to go. There we go. It is now our plot. Right, okay, let's put in our brand new campus building. And I'm just going to put it right at the bottom of this staircase here. Drop that one in and put the doorway there. Probably not the best position, and I have actually noticed as well that I've got a couple of issues with pathing since I put all of those hedges in, so probably not the best idea for me, but because I'm so close to completing the level, I'm just going to leave it as it is. That's our new lecture theatre going in. I'm going to duplicate this medical office as well and put that in there. That should help our queues. We'll put another pastoral support in to hopefully bring those queues down even further. And obviously we're going to have to hire staff to cover for that as well. And then it's time to put our dig site in. Don't think I'm going to need to add any more to this building. I'm pretty sure that our dormitories that we currently have were already like under occupied, so we should just be able to continue with the dormitories that we have, although I could put some more in because it would increase our overall profits. This is just a small dig site though, just to help us get over the line with our A+ grade classes, which we should attain over the course of the next year. So without further ado, let's upgrade our course level one more and crack on with our new year. I'll see you when we get a little bit more progress. Barreling down on the end of our year, we have 2 more A+ grade classes to achieve, and I think we're probably going to do it when our next class begins midway through June. I did schedule a sci-fi film in just before that begins, so hopefully the students that have gone and watched that film will be students that are just teetering on the edge of an A+ grade. Selling a few more artifacts here. But yeah, it's been a really good level, a lot of fun, and really good at managing our finances with this one. Obviously, having artifacts to sell will improve that and make it a lot easier. And I think maybe they could balance it all out by having, like, you know, the cheese ball victories that you get if you have a cheese ball course or something like that. They'd give you a little bit of extra money, or maybe they need to nerf the value of the artifacts to make it a little bit more difficult, because this was one of the easiest levels that I've done. It was just a bit time consuming, really. So nothing else to report really, but yeah, a couple of issues there with you saw me hovering over a student just there that was wanting to go and look at the insects and the actual insect cases in the library at the other end of the campus. And with the pathing issues, it could be quite difficult for them to get to. So the layout for this one could definitely be improved. But as we've got so much money, we could unlock all of the other plots and rebuild this campus from the ground up. And talking of revisiting them to create a nice aesthetically pleasing campus, I think this could definitely be one of the ones that I consider doing, where we have multiple dig pits and different areas and stuff like that. And it would be really interesting to come and do this now that we've got the money. I really like the design of this one as well. It's got that really nice like Aztec temple feel to it. But we've found a lot of interesting artifacts like old unicycles and terracotta warriors and stuff, which definitely not Aztec. So I'm going to spend some kudos just while I'm waiting for these final classes to be complete and unlock a few more posters and things, because these have been instrumental. I don't know if they've buffed the attractiveness range of the posters, but I seem to be getting a much higher and better spread of attractiveness from having posters down, unless it's because multiple posters placed next to each other that are different will increase that range naturally. I'm not quite sure. But it was really interesting to kind of play around with boosting attractiveness, especially when you have these large areas that don't get any boosts to attractiveness at all. If we remove these invaders, that's probably why our attractiveness rating has dipped below 75%. So that should recover once the invaders have gone, been defeated, or the timer has expired on them. I'm just going to continue selling some more stuff. But it's looking really good. It's this has probably been the most profitable campus that I've had, and it's actually probably down to those dormitories that I designed, which again increases. Oh, there we go, we've done it. Excellent. UFO display, dino display, and the silver bottom bust. And we can now move on to our next campus, which we will be doing next week. Remember, if you're watching 2 Point Campus, they're coming out weekly now because I'm taking a break from 2 Point Hospital before I make a start on the DLC stuff. I'd really like to finish this game, get through the career mode, and then we'll move on to something new, maybe resurrect a series that I've not played for quite some time and get those finished off. But it would be really interesting to redevelop all of this again and take another look at it. It's one that I would definitely like to come back to, as well as their Spiffing Moor and the Night School based one, because there's some nice plots here that you could do a lot with. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're looking forward to the next one. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate your time. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.